Water the plants while we're in Florida, my parents asked. Simple favor. They'd been planning this trip for months, Dad's retirement celebration, finally using those timeshare points they'd been hoarding. 2 weeks in Clearwater, Mom had said, showing me brochures at Sunday dinner. We leave Thursday. So Thursday afternoon, my wife Jenna and I drove over with their spare key. The plan was simple. Water the plants, collect the mail, make sure the house looked lived in. The kind of thing adult children do for their parents. Your mom's orchids are going to die, Jenna predicted as we pulled into their driveway. Remember the succulent massacre of 2019? That was different. Those were supposedly unkillable. Everything's killable if you're determined enough. I unlocked the front door, immediately hit by that distinct smell of my childhood home. Coffee, Mom's lavender cleaning products, and something else I could never quite identify. The house was tidy, as always. Mom had even left detailed plant care instructions on the counter, each pot numbered with corresponding directions. She made a spreadsheet, Jenna laughed, picking up the paper. Of course she did. I started with the living room plants while Jenna headed upstairs. I'm using their bathroom, she called. The good one with the heated floors. Mom hates when people use their bathroom. They're in Florida. I was misting the ferns when I heard Jenna's footsteps overhead stop abruptly. Then fast movement. Running. She appeared at the top of the stairs, face white, hands shaking. We're leaving. Now. What? Why? What's wrong? Get in the car. Call the police. From the car. Jenna, what dash? Now, Marcus. Something in her voice made me move. We were out the door in seconds, Jenna practically pushing me toward our car. She kept looking back at the house like it might follow us. Drive, she said. Just drive. Away from here. I started the car, pulled out. You're scaring me. What happened? Call 911. Tell them. She swallowed hard. Tell them to check your parents' bedroom closet. Tell them to bring. I don't know. Everyone. I pulled over 3 blocks away, hands shaking as I dialed. 911, what's your emergency? My wife found something in my parents' house. In their closet. She says you need to check it. What did she find, sir? I looked at Jenna. She took the phone. There are bodies, she said flatly. At least 3. Hanging in the closet. Not fresh. And other things. Please send police to 452 Maple Grove Drive. The owners are supposed to be in Florida, but I don't think they went to Florida. The dispatcher kept us on the line. Police arrived within minutes. Then more police. Then FBI. We spent the next 6 hours at the station. Jenna explained over and over what she'd seen when she'd opened the wrong door looking for the bathroom. The master bedroom has 2 doors, she told Detective Morrison. I thought the one on the left was the bathroom. It was their closet. Walk-in. Big. And there were people. Hanging from the bar where you'd hang clothes. But they were decorated. Decorated. Posed. Dressed up. Like mannequins. But they weren't mannequins. My mind couldn't process it. My parents. The people who'd driven me to Little League. Who'd hosted neighborhood barbecues. Who'd just last week complained about their property taxes. There's more, Jenna continued. The back wall. It had trophies. Driver's licenses. Jewelry. Arranged like a display. And photos. Polaroids of people I didn't recognize. Dozens of them. Detective Morrison showed me a photo of a man and woman in Hawaiian shirts, taken at what looked like an airport. Are these your parents? I nodded, numb. When was this taken? 3 hours ago. Security footage from Miami International. They boarded a flight to Costa Rica. Costa Rica. Not Florida. They knew, I said. They knew someone would find out. We believe they've been planning this exit for some time, Morrison said. The house was meticulously organized. They wanted someone to find it. Eventually. How long? I asked. How long were those people in their closet? The medical examiner is still working, but preliminary estimates. The oldest remains could be from 5 or 6 years ago. Preserved with professional embalming techniques. My father had worked at a funeral home in his 20s. Before he became an insurance adjuster. I'd forgotten that detail until just now. The victims, Morrison continued, appear to match missing persons reports from across 3 states. People who disappeared while traveling. On vacation. No local connections. Like they were in Florida. The full investigation took months. 17 victims identified through DNA and dental records. 17 people who'd vanished between 2016 and 2023. Hikers, business travelers, retirees on road trips. My parents had invited them in somehow. The police found evidence of a sophisticated operation. Fake online personas. Vacation rental scams. My mother volunteering at highway rest stops, chatting up tired travelers, suggesting they rest at their bed and breakfast just off the interstate. Your parents were hunters, the FBI profiler explained. They chose victims with no local connections. People whose disappearances wouldn't immediately raise alarms. Then they kept them. Kept them. The posing, the preservation. This wasn't about the killing. It was about the collection. They were creating their own private museum. I thought about all the times I'd been in that house. All the times I'd walked past that bedroom. 17 people hanging in my parents' closet while we ate Christmas dinner downstairs. Jenna couldn't sleep for weeks. I almost used that closet, she'd whisper at 3 a.m. If I'd opened it last year, would they have? We'd never know. Because my parents were gone. Disappeared into Costa Rica with fake passports and 20 years of planning. The FBI tracked them to San Jose, then nothing. They'd had 2 decades to prepare for this moment. The house became a crime scene. Then evidence. Then, eventually, just an empty building that no realtor would touch. I'd drive by sometimes, trying to reconcile my memories with what I now knew. They made us sandwiches, I told my therapist. Every time we visited. Mom would make those little triangle sandwiches I loved as a kid. Then we'd sit at the kitchen table and talk about normal things while 17 dead people hung in their closet. Evil can be mundane, she said. That's what makes it so terrifying. The victims' families reached out. Some angry. Some just wanting to understand. How did I not know? How did I not see? I didn't have answers. My parents had been perfect at being normal. Dad complained about the referee at football games. Mom fussed over her garden. They remembered birthdays, sent Christmas cards, worried about my retirement savings. The gardening, Jenna said one day. She was always so proud of her garden. We both thought it but didn't say it. What else had they buried in that perfectly maintained backyard? The FBI found nothing in the garden. My parents had been careful. The closet was their only indulgence, their secret room where they could admire their work. Everything else about their lives had been camouflage. 6 months after they disappeared, I got a postcard. No return address. The image showed a Costa Rican beach at sunset. Taking care of our new plants. Hope you're watering the old ones. Love, Mom and Dad. The FBI analyzed it. No useful leads. Just proof that somewhere in Central America, my parents were still pretending to be normal retirees. Still maintaining their cover, even in exile. Burn it, Jenna said. I did. The hardest part was the before. Looking back at every memory, every interaction, searching for signs. There had to be signs, right? But there weren't. Not obvious ones. My father teaching me to tie fishing flies with the same patient hands that position corpses. My mother's book club meetings where she'd discuss murder mysteries while living one. They compartmentalized perfectly, the profiler said. To them, you existed in a completely separate world from their crimes. They loved you. And they collected human beings. Both things were true. I changed our last name. Moved states. Started over somewhere no one knew about the 17 people in the closet. Jenna supported the decision, even suggested it. I can't drive past places and wonder, she said. Every restaurant, every store. Did they meet victims there? Was that parking lot where someone's life ended? We told people our families were dead. Easier than the truth. Cleaner than explaining that my parents were probably sipping cocktails on a beach they'd bought with 30 years of insurance adjuster salary and a lifetime of careful planning. Sometimes I dream about the closet. Not seeing it. I never did, Jenna made sure of that. But knowing it was there. All those Sunday dinners. All those holiday gatherings. All those normal family moments with a horror museum 1 floor above us. The plants died, by the way. No one went back to water them after that day. The orchids Mom had tended so carefully, the ferns she'd misted religiously. They withered in an empty house that became a crime scene that became evidence that became nothing. Just like the family I thought I had. The FBI says they're still looking. That eventually my parents will make a mistake. Use a credit card. Get sick and need a hospital. Leave some digital footprint that leads back to them. I don't believe it. My parents planned their entire lives around being invisible while hiding in plain sight. They're not going to suddenly get sloppy now. Sometimes I wonder if they have a new closet. New hobbies. New neighbors who think they're a sweet retired couple who love gardening and make great triangle sandwiches. I wonder if they ever think about me. If they feel guilt or just inconvenience that their careful plan finally unraveled. If they blame us for house-sitting too soon or themselves for keeping trophies. Mostly, I try not to think about it at all. But every time someone asks me to water their plants while they're on vacation, I remember. Every time I see a missing person poster at a rest stop, I wonder. Every time someone mentions Florida, I think about how my parents asked me to water their plants while they fled to Costa Rica, leaving 17 bodies hung like clothes in their closet. Simple favor, they'd said. Nothing about my parents was ever simple. I just didn't know it until my wife opened the wrong door looking for a bathroom and found their collection instead. Now I know. Now I can't unknow. Now I live in a different state with a different name and a wife who still checks every closet door twice before opening it. My parents asked me to water their plants while they were in Florida. They weren't in Florida. Those weren't Halloween decorations. And I'll never water anyone's plants again.